Hey guys, it's Ellie. Welcome back to Bite Size Book One. I'm glad to have you with me. So, if you've never been here before, hi, welcome. This is just a podcast where we read through one chapter of the Book of Mormon each episode, and I give a little bit of context, a little bit of insight, a little bit of jokes, mayhaps, we'll see. So stick around, it's a good time. So if you remember last episode, we read 2 Nephi chapter 20, which is a chapter all about kind of the second coming, and kind of the destruction of the people that's going to happen there. And there was a couple very, very important verses that I really, really enjoyed reading, and I had a lot of thoughts on. So if you want to hear that, go back and listen to that if you haven't already. But for now, we're going to read 2 Nephi chapter 21. And a reminder, we're going to read the chapter summary, and then move on to the verses. So yeah, I think without any further ado, we read 2 Nephi chapter 21. The stem of Jesse, Christ, will judge in righteousness. The knowledge of God will cover the earth in the millennium. The Lord will raise an ensign and gather Israel. Compare Isaiah 11. So we're going to get to see some of Christ judging righteously, and how the millennium will go, and how the Lord will raise an ensign. Like, dude, this is exciting stuff. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, and the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge, and of the fear of the Lord. I love that. The second verse kind of reminds me of the, Unto us a child is born verse with all the titles of Jesus, because it says the Spirit of the Lord will rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, and of counsel, and of might, and of knowledge. And those are all things that Jesus has. Like, that's pretty cool. I especially like the wisdom and understanding, because that is one of Christ's greatest attributes, is that he knows what we're going through. He understands, and he's wise enough to help us through it. And I think that is amazing, and my favorite part about Jesus Christ. And also counsel and might, like he counsels us, and also he is mighty. These definitely are a little bit parallel with the Unto us a child is born verse, and I really, really like that. And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. I love that wording. He shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he shall slay the wicked. Oh my goodness. That is such fun wording, because getting taught by Jesus must have been a very spiritually powerful experience, akin to getting smitten, in fact. Getting spiritually backhanded, as I like to say. Oh man. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. I love how in verse 9 it says, they will not hurt nor destroy, because the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord. So that implies that the knowledge of the Lord causes people to be peaceable, and to be non-violent. Even animals, which is pretty awesome. And I also love the imagery of as the waters cover the sea. Like, if you're trying to argue that the waters do not completely cover the sea, then you are wrong. And so, similar to that, if you're trying to argue that the knowledge of the Lord will not completely cover the earth in the millennium, you are wrong. Because it will. And apparently it will make people neither hurt nor destroy. Sounds like a great time. And in that day shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. I love in this verse where it says, the root of Jesse, which is Jesus, will be an ensign of the people. Like, he represents the people to God. I like that wording of the people. And also the end of that verse in verse 10, it says, his rest shall be glorious. Because it is. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of the people which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathos, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy of Ephraim also shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines towards the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind he shall shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. And there shall be a highway for the remnant of his people which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. So this chapter is a lot more peaceful than the last chapter that we read. Because if you remember, like I said, the last chapter was a little bit more about the second coming, and this is about what happens after the second coming. How the world will be full of peace, and how Israel will be gathered, and how the stem of Jesse, aka Jesus, will stand as an ensign of the people. Like, that was very, very good. I very much enjoyed that, and it was definitely a relief a little bit after the last chapter. So I've already talked about this a little bit, but the standout verse for today is going to be verse 10, and it says, "And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious." So I've already kind of mentioned how cool it is, how the stem of Jesse, Jesus, is a ensign of the people. And not only does he represent the people as an ensign of the people, but he also brings the people to him. As it says in the following verses, that is what he uses, the ensign, to gather Israel. And also, his rest shall be glorious. So those who do come unto him, following the ensign that he has put up, they shall be rested, and they shall have peace, and they shall be glorious. And that is amazing. I can't say it any other way. That's just amazing. So yeah, once again, very good chapter, very much enjoyed it, but I think that's going to be the episode for today. So thank you so much for listening. It's good to have you with me. As always, there are those links down in the show notes. First one is just a web version of the Book of Mormon, and the other 2 are 2 different app downloads of the Book of Mormon. So if you don't have your own copy, whether digital or physical, click one of those so you can read along, because, reading the Book of Mormon is awesome. And you should do it. It's a very worthy cause to invest in. So yeah, I think with that, I'll talk to you later. Bye.